retreat into top B. But here we go. We're kicking things off in the pistol round. Shopify Rebellion versus C9 in this best of 3. Starting things off on Fracture, where this time C9 is working on the north side.
This is such a hard read coming out for Cloud9 White. They're just staying posted, all 5 members so grouped together, and they're just so ready for Shopify to make this push.
All red shooting line, and it's going to be Lori on our 2 versus 1. We do have the spike picked up by Jazikin, who's going to go back down towards the south side of the map, meeting up versus Mel. And Lori now has to guess where this action is going to go.
The benefits of having Neon just speeding across to meet up. Spike will go down. It's all down to Lori. Sound cues galore, but she's looking for the second. Her teammates should have realized that it was Neon that planted. And there's the chamber. A lot of info, but what a shot coming out from Mel here.
Good attempt by Lori to at least try to read it out, looking towards the top of heaven if somebody was going to slip out. But as she peeks out, it's those basics. Cloud9 White, perfect double swing out to get the kill, and they get a great pistol round in. That waiting towards spawn at the top side was very interesting.
Such a hard read coming out for Cloud9. Things got a little hectic, and the trades were looking favorable for Shopify for just a moment, but the power in numbers.
Yes.
Cloud9, those off angles, a teammate swinging out as that contact happened, and that's just too many bodies for Shopify to have to deal with. Beautiful start for Cloud9, and we've been seeing a lot of force buys coming into these second rounds, but Shopify, they decide to be a lot more
Conservative, definitely.
For sure. Not even a shorty. I mean, we've been talking about those shotguns coming out for Shopify's side. Certainly this time around, just classics on the board. And then once again, Cloud9 very, very calculated. Just a trip on the north side here.
And for Shopify, they want to play the range of those classics with the stack that they currently have on this A site. Only a passive play by KP, who's going to jiggle it towards the A link, just to see if there's going to be any type of initial pressure from C9. She is going to spot out the Prowler coming out from Alexis from Tree, but all of this for C9, everything is a guess for where they want to hit this site.
Yeah, so many mind games that we're going to be seeing on this map, Van. So many mind games. We talk about familiarity. I mean, Cloud9 right now, they're thinking, okay, is it going to be Benita or KP around this corner with a short shotgun, right? So power numbers definitely wanting to make this trade happen. That knife is going to reveal so much information for Bob and team.
That knife is concealed by the wall that came up by Jazikin, so that's going to spot 3. That instantly pulls the rotation back from C9 back towards the spawn to book it towards the B site, and there's only 20 seconds.
20 seconds, they have to be fully committed to this hit. All of Shopify, they're making the rotations happen. They'll be in the site in the nick of time. What a fault line.
Fault line's going to slow the clock down for a bit more. Han's going to spot one on top of Dice, but it is going to be C9 White all over. There's time, for, at least for the plant. We're trying to push it at least just to prevent this plant from going down, but it will happen. Last one is spotted at Tree, and that's a second round. A close one at least there for Shopify.
Jeez, such... I mean, thin ice.
Yes.
Thin ice is Cloud9. They wanted to be very thorough, as I said, but man, yesterday we saw that punishing, right? Running out of time. Sometimes you could be a little too cautious, but thankfully for C9, they're actually able to plant the spike there and get away. But man, that got dangerous so fast.
Yeah, and losing 2 players in the process, that means that for C9, some of them will upgrade. And of course, the gun round comes in for Shopify Rebellion back into more of a standard position on the defense, playing the Brimstone and the Chamber towards this B site. We're also C9's looking for a split, a 4-1, having Mel lurking from the arcade. Flash, so at least some information, some sound cues going in from Tree.
Yeah, and remember, just a bonus for C9. They want to be able to swarm into the site here and overwhelm whatever defenders are in this area. Here comes the hit. That neon wall blocking all vision.
And it's going to be quick. Spotted one on the top of the generator. Jazikins is low on HP, but first contact forces a TP away. Benita stuck on top of heaven, but a beautiful relay bolt and a pinch coming in from Arcade. That is going to be so hard for Benita to hold the site. But Flowerful fights back. Spike is now down out in the open, and we're fighting from Canteen. She gets 3 kills into the round, leaving only 2 to go. A Marshal and a Guardian. This is not the weapons that you need. And try to win this 2 versus 4. Gap in the wall. Not spotting anything here from Bob.
Bob just trying to create some sort of distraction, allow Mel to hopefully find an angle for herself. Just a Marshal on her hands. Shopify are playing this round so well. Disciplined, they're not giving her a shot.
But she's gonna have to land some good ones here from Mel. Looking back, will have contact into Canteen. There is that peek, but Flowerful with 4 onto the round. Slow Orb to delay the clock. Impossible task for Bob to try to come back into the round. 10 seconds moving down. The spike is still out in the open. Nothing she could do. This round should come in now for C9, but at least some salvage. Silver lining, she gets 2 kills with the Guardian to make it expensive against Shopify in that round number 3.
And that's huge for Bob, right? I was just thinking, there's no point in saving that Guardian,
Exactly,
right? This
yeah.
was just a bonus. Going into the next round, she will have a healthy purchase, but those extra ult orbs coming into this round with that KO ultimate was everything for C9, especially considering how this round started, right? I mean, C9 got into the site so easily, and Benita falling in heaven so early without her teammates being able to react surely meant that spike would go down, but somehow, some way, Flowerful just pulls a hat trick out of her back pocket.
Oh yeah, we just saw the attitude coming out there from Shopify Rebellion. The walkout looked intense, and now it's showing in the game. C9 White with a full buy, having to figure out the next time they head towards this B site, how can we actually stop Flowerful in Canteen? Oh yes.
Benita,
oh yes.
She's got that judge in her back pocket. Certainly this time in heaven, maybe things look different. Round 2 for Jazzykins once again.
Spotted by the KO9 for Relay Bolt inside the smoke. The judge stunned, and Jazzican gets the opening frag. Wall towards the arcade, so there's no rotations coming out from Shopify Rebellion. No flanks that's going to come in from arcade either.
Oh, this readjustment coming out for Bob is so huge. This off angle, this multi-kill potential is so huge. Shopify, they've got to clear this angle.
Bob's at the bottom. Oh my, this is clean! A triple kill. Back in the shooting range for AimLab. And she lands the 3, leaving Lori by herself. Oh man. That is definitely gonna put a mark in the economy for Shopify Rebellion. 2 kills coming out in the end for Lori. But this shows that C9 White are coming out to play.
That is crispy. That is crispy indeed if you're Bob. And, you know, it's just the awareness, right?
Yes.
Map awareness. Her teammates were in the site. That spike was going down. So to have that awareness to turn around and secure the flank, repositioning as well. And, of course, it helps that you're just that steady under all this pressure on land, and a small smirk coming up for Bob. These last couple of gun rounds have been quite dominant for C9, and for Shopify's side of things, they've got to figure out how to help Benita a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
2 rounds now in a row, Benita's been under immense pressure in that heaven, and we think back on Shopify's win conditions, it was Sonder being able to be very loose, very quick to react off of Benita's contact. These last 2, she's just gotten down so fast with Jazzy's aggressions that Shopify are a little bit late to that reaction.
Oh yeah, and as the execution comes in towards this A site, you saw that activation that you were just mentioning here, Christine. We have a Guardian in the hands of Sonder. They were stacking up towards arcade, hoping to get some sort of a late lurk pinch into the north side. But the gamble didn't work out. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 for the retake for Shopify.
Yeah, and these anti-ecos have been pretty tough for Shopify so far. Not very close. Cloud9 have been completely dominating, and looks like the pattern is going to continue. Flowerful, she's got 4. She's good for the first.
With 3 left alive, but the spike's still down. Jazzican continues her reign now towards arcade to drop KP. Flowerful, it's time to make it expensive once again. Tap onto the spike, pre-fired shot, relay bolt. And that utility continues to be very good for Jazzykins. The amount of stuns that she's getting on these hits and these post plants seems to be key for Cloud9.
Yes, and not only that, she's finding the entries as well, because, you know, it's such a feels bad if you're on Neon and all you're able to provide is that space making, which is a lot. Listen, that's a lot, and it's enough usually. But the bonus on top, the icing on the cake is that Jazzy is fragging out. So certainly that is a dangerous combination if you're on the side of Shopify. But look, Benita, the ultimate on that Brimmy is coming online now. That stopping power along with Sage's slow orbs, this round should be a little bit more of a defense for Shopify.
Yeah. And you see, because of that orbital strike, the changes in positioning for where you want to place Benita in this round is going to be slightly different. Playing towards the canteen to look at arcade, could fall back into sight, help with the orbital strike for the retakes for Shopify Rebellion, where once again, Cloud9 White are going into that site.
Yeah, another 4-1 coming through. Mel being a little bit more patient, and Jazzy doesn't commit this time. They want to bait out the Brimmy ult. There it is, job done for Cloud9, and now they're just buying time for Mel. Oh boy.
The lurk from behind, low HP,
Oh, no.
but as she looks back up, there was support to help Sonder for the kill. Benita gets the frag. Moving forward was Flowerful with an aggressive angle, is able to TP away back into sight. Cosmic Divide out for Cloud9 White as they're looking to commit into this A site. Nice orbs though, and also a smoke from the Brimstone. It's gonna make it difficult for C9 to get in, especially when Jazzikins low on HP.
Good utility to keep Cloud9 at bay, and that knife didn't reveal too much. It might have caught a little bit of Flowerful, but Cloud9, they're very much grouped. That's a huge stun.
Another one!
Huge stun.
And a wall bang from Alexis, but Sonder fights back. Finally on the board here, and Benita there to support. Alexis, who's been key on this very map, is going to have to try to go for this 2 versus 1 clutch with 10 seconds left. Swinging out, the headshot to Sonder, the 4th into the round. Full plant coming in, Rolling Thunder out from KP.
Oh!
Does not hit the plant.
Not enough time.
She won't have the time because of that.
Oh!
We just got it.
She does.
Thought I was off. Just like GB, I gotta learn how to count. That said though, KP back with the fault line, so gives her position away as Alexis still has this haunt to come out, but we're just walking out for KP. Alexis gets the ace into the round and at 1v1 clutch.
Oh, these Zoomers, Vans. These Zoomers with their fast sense. Alexis, that sound cue, I would almost say that KP throwing that flash made her lose the clutch, right? Because right then and there, Alexis dodges the flash and she knows exactly where KP is coming from. What a tense 1v1 there. I want to see the plant with the time left on the clock. That was just barely making a cross there for Alexis. What a clutch.
That's like a .0001 plant or something like that. But the idea was perfect for KP.
Yes.
She was counting on that timing of the Rolling Thunder,
Yes.
but maybe it didn't count on how long it would take for it to actually hit the spike plant from Alexis. That said, though, this is going to put Shopify Rebellion back into an eco. But no stacks coming in. C9 going back to the regular stuff of the hit towards the B site, but this is all a fake.
Yeah, and I love the conditioning that Cloud9 have brought to this first half. You've seen it, right? I think
Yes.
this is the 5th round in a row that Jazzykin starts the round in that B main, drops that neon wall,
Yes.
demands that Shopify reacts with some utility. So that trade in utility, that little bit of pressure in the beginning has definitely conditioned a lot, but Jazzykins just gets deleted and annihilated, and that's something here for Shopify. An an eco coming into this one, but an advantage to start the round. That's a first for Shopify in this half.
She'll call the smoke, she'll call the wall, and then Bob, meanwhile, has picked up the orb to enable the null command to come out. So C9 are just going to try to run towards the main entrance. Big knife to get some information on at least 2, but not where exactly the positioning is at. Lures behind the boxes towards the A site. Plan is going to come down. Another fight coming in as they're trying to go for a surprise attack inside the Nebula on the top of ropes. Showstopper out on defense. Sonder connecting, not onto Bob, but at least the Boombot will, and gets a headshot once again. It's a 3 versus 1, and Shopify Rebellion somehow are able to get the Thrifty for the 2nd into the round.
Oh boy, and of course it's Sonder who doesn't get a huge rocket kill, but for some reason gets the Boombot kill to secure a Thrifty for Shopify. And what a way to stop the bleeding, to halt that momentum, because as I said, it was looking pretty terrifying towards that B main. So much conditioning coming out here for Cloud9, but to win this Thrifty, that is huge stuff. And Mel, a little overzealous. You know, they were down numbers, 4v5 in that post, and she felt like she had to make that move. But what a mistake that was, giving away a Vandal to a Classic. And man, that one burns a little bit if you're Cloud9. A lot of extra wiggle room, though, for sure, with that lead.
Yeah, because of the amount of rounds that we got for C9, we'll be pretty healthy into this department for another gun round in this round number 8. That said, though, Jazzykins only has a Sheriff, but also the Overdrive ready. They want to go for this heavy hit into B once again. Stars already coming up, and here's the hit.
And I like this adjustment coming out for Shopify. We're seeing the same hit coming out. Oh, and finally, they do take care of Mel. And we've seen this 4-1 time and time again. Shopify should have a good idea that the rest of Cloud9 are congregated towards this B main.
Because she's low on HP and only has the Overdrive, at least he's got to be able to give the information for C9. That Sonder's moving up. A flash. Boombot almost did some damage. Nice reaction time by Bob. The rotation comes back from Shopify Rebellion. All 3 players out towards the arcade. And all of C9 are actually congregated inside the site. And it's in favor of Shopify. Alexis getting 2 and goes in for the flick on the clutch. A second one for Alexis in this first first half of Fracture.
What a round to win for Alexis, all alone in the site, and there was just so many bodies coming at her from every single angle, and what a round, because I was just saying Shopify looked so good in this round. They adjusted, right? That
Yes.
B main was under so much heavy pressure. This time, all 3 members of Shopify went towards Arcade. They said, you know what? Let's take care of the Rat, let's take care of the Lurk, and then have a full force retake to overwhelm that site. And it almost works out, but Alexis, what a hero.
Heroic effort, heroic plays as Mel first blood into this round. Bonita falls early, but that's because Shopify Rebellion were going for an aggressive play for a pinch down to the south side of the map. Big flash from KP. Mel is fully blinded, but nobody's committing yet.
Yeah, and all this is just a ruse. Look at all of Cloud9. Most of the members are making this flank happen from beneath.
Bob's just trying to keep it busy.
Oh no, they've made it into spawn, hey?
Yeah. So there's no information for Shopify Rebellion of where the last members are of Cloud9 White, but at least we pick up a few weapons. 2 Vandals now up. Rotate back toward B. But C9.
Huge res. That is a huge res. We've got the little hunting party in Cloud9. As this spike goes down, Jazzy, she's got to be able to find a couple of early frags before they actually make this retake happen. We've seen overwhelming in numbers before. You can see exactly that's what Cloud9 are doing. Alexis and Jazzy trying to find an early pick before they get the spike down.
And this is dangerous. The more that you're trying to clear towards the site, the more that Shopify Rebellion knows that the hit's coming towards A. So everybody's rotating back towards spawn. Thankfully, at least we have a Nightfall available for C9. Nice first contact from Benita. Jazzikins is also looking back towards the spawn. There's that Nightfall. That's going to ping a second one towards the spawn. The pinch coming in from Jazzikins with the relay bolt. And there you go. Only one left. It looked like it was going to be some nice timing for Shopify Rebellion, but nice angles being held. As Flowerful, though, at least connects onto that shot with the Headhunter. A 2 versus 1. Phantom now in hand. Who gets a second kill? A 1v1. We're out in the open, and Flowerful comes in for the kill.
Is there enough time? There's plenty of time. That is 2 thrifties in a row, and Cloud9 White, they had to invest quite a lot into this round. You saw Alexis even utilizing that fade ult to be able to secure this one, and that one looked almost secure in the bag. What the hell just happened?
We were ready to talk and digest that round to go into the next one, but we keep forgetting that this is an NA versus NA where these players have something to prove. They want to know in this proving ground on LAN at the Game Changers Championship that they are the best team in North America. And I love this back and forth. We're not letting anything go.
Yeah, and that's gotta feel damn good if you're Flowerful. So many clutch.
And for C9 with this eco, you'll be happy if you could actually waste those ultimates into this round. With the remaining go in the first half of Fracture. Mind you as well, Sonder 0-4 earlier on, now at 8-7. So she's finding her groove as well. It's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Bob started off this round near that B main area, threw that knife to make it look like they're doing the same exact thing they've been doing every round.
Oh no.
Just met up back with Mel, and she finds an opening.
A slight mishap. Mel gets the execution onto KP. The A site's now weakened for a bit. We have, there you go, that first ult coming out from Benita, who does get the kill onto Alexis. All of C9 are converging towards Sands. They're holding on the crossfires at least for now. There's still plenty of time to work with.
The spike, it's down in such an awkward position. No smokes left for Benita. They've got to get the frags. Take a look though. Flowerful. With time, things can get real hectic here for C9.
C9 so low on HP. Cosmic Divide now out to prevent Shopify Rebellion from shooting back as they crawl back to pick up the spike. But that might be the call to rotate towards the B site and to also call for Flowerful to be ready. Jazzikins dropped as 2 more are trying to move forward. The other showstopper now coming out, the other ultimate rather for Shopify.
They don't have any time, Vans. They have to commit to this A site. The showstopper doesn't get a single kill. Flowerful, she's got to make a move.
From spawn to the top, Sonder drops 2 more. Spike is down 1 more time. Plat is not going to happen, so make that work, make that hurt. Vandal now picked up, and the round's still going to come in for Shopify Rebellion, but like I said, you wanted those 3 ults to be used. We used 2 of them at least, and we also managed to kill everybody from Shopify Rebellion for Cloud9.
Such a back and forth round. Such a back and forth round. Expensive all across the board. And this is exactly what I was hoping for, man. On land, both teams having to dig so deep in order to get these rounds on the board. It's just so neck and neck right now. 4-6. Shopify just inching forward in this comeback. Cloud9 have looked so dominant. A very healthy purchase coming out for both squads.
Yes. And outside of the dual defense that we've seen from Flowerful twice, this is the first time we see the operator coming out. So finally some economy that's good enough in the favor of Shopify. Now pinged out and forced to fall back.
Good info, but Sonder, she takes that timing to just trade spots. The Boombot will be decent information for Cloud9. And this is a very slow start to this round.
That's right. So the Han spots the operator and also the race towards B. So that makes C9 now rotate back towards the A site, but the rotate from Flowerful is also there from that operator. Wall's about to break, and C9's looking for the hit.
Oh, the timing for Mel. A little paranoid about that close right corner. She's got a teammate. She's got to get the trade.
Doesn't work out. Low HP is going to be Lori who gets the self-heal, but we are converging ult from the drop. Jaskin's looking for that second one, so it's a 2-for-2. Ult coming out, KP suppressed, but jumping out with her teammate, looking to just push aggressively back towards the A site. But it's a tap, and it's a fall back. Can he actually get the flank back towards
30
Sands?
seconds left.
Yeah, Cloud9 feeling the pressure there, feeling like the pre-take was on the way.
Oh
What
my.
a move! 2 versus 1. KP's getting overwhelmed.
But there's 20 seconds. We have to rotate back towards the site. We have nothing to work with for the cross, and that's Powerful winning with the operator.
It's not the tour de force though. Oh, she's
10
getting
seconds left.
the paranoia slowly starting to creep in. There's only 7 seconds left on the clock here.
Nice spots her too. So they know that she's towards the spawn. Plant is going to come down. This is a perfect positioning for both Alexis and Bob. Flowerful only has the operator to work with as she switches over to the Vandal. Both of them now for Cloud9 playing off-site as Flowerful's doing her due diligence to clear every single one of these corners, but they're just posted up out front. Easy kill in the end. And another intense round that went down to the wire, but it's still C9 that comes up ahead.
Cloud9 always playing their numbers, always playing those high percentages, and they absolutely secured this one. A little high-low double crossfire setup to be able to secure that one, and oh man, what a start. So much pressure in this Sands area, and you know, Cloud9, they're just so good at overwhelming and swarming. Once that contact happens, you saw it through even the dish area, a secondary pinch coming. So those Sands players, they were never going to make it out.
Definitely not. But it had to be one of those surprise audio cues, and you had to be on point when you opened the doors for Cloud9 to actually land those shots. So props to them for that last round of the half. And because we've invested so much in that previous round, we're playing with pretty much almost nothing. Focusing the rifles onto Sonder and Benita. Lori making sure that she had enough credits to actually get a wall to at least block off one of the quadrants for a few seconds at the beginning of this round.
You can see Cloud9 fully aware of the money, not wanting to just speed it up. Shopify have already had those aggressive plays 2 or 3 times this half and waiting around just a little bit. Here comes the wall. Jazzykins is pushing.
She's done this before when it was Mel that was lurking towards the top, and she finally manages to get another kill into spawn with that play. Plant then comes up, and it's planted for long when there's still 2 players out there, and then Astra's gonna come in huge. Jessica continues to work with the overdrive, and the flank's not working from Shopify. It's just gonna be Flowerful, but she's done it before. Headhunter in hand. Now as the overdrive comes out from Jazzykins, doesn't want to let loose. She gets the kill, but Katsumi trades it off, and C9 gets the round to end the half 8-4.
Jazzykins looked like she was having so much fun in that last round to secure. And it's these small looks, right? Cloud9 Mel is just calling so well right now. From the pistol, that hard read to this last round. Just those small little looks that she's
versus Shopify setup. Sonder, another player here that Kakuka has mentioned, is going to have to turn up the B The tip of the spear to try to work out towards the dish, but we get the first contact with the fault line towards the top B site. Bob just under a little bit of pressure, thinking that there's going to be a hit there, but it rotates out from Shopify.
A really early fault line, keeping the 3 defenders in that B site. So much ground for Shopify here.
Meanwhile, because of that, Mel's pushing towards the bottom side of the map, rotates back for this head-to-head. ADSing now, headshot onto Sonder. Ahant spots a few more towards the A-halls, and the plant comes in at least for long.
I love that Mel is falling back as well. She's demanding that Shopify be very paranoid about this flank. Alexis all alone, just trying to buy time for her teammates to regroup. And Flowerful, she just gets smoked out. No vision possible.
Oh. But the triple swing back towards the A-halls, now outside of the Nebula. Finally, Alexis answers back. Aftershock to come out too. And Alexis and Jazzikins are fighting back. Somehow it's a 2 versus 2. The rotate's coming back from the door into the A-halls. The 2 of them are trying to spray across. It's halfway, but Jazzikins on this 1 versus 1. Back to the reload. Gets the headshot into KB. Will she have time for the defuse? And will get it at .9.
0.98 seconds, Vans, and the fact that she didn't even reload, but she's able to tap quickly. It's just neon diff. It's neon diff coming out here for Jazzy. And I love the move coming out for Shopify. All 3 members in that A main, they said, you know what, we gotta go get Mel. They hunted her down, and that should have made that post a little bit easier, but power in numbers, I guess. Alexis just bodyguarding for Jazzy there. What a shot to get onto KP there as well. She's a little bit more calm and collected than I thought. Inkling that this was a possibility because that first contact at Arcade definitely happened. So unfortunate for C9, but Shopify another answer back to be able to claw their way back into this one. Sheriff's on the board. Jazzy, I mean, she's 1 off of her ult. She's got 2 teammates behind her. That knife revealed that there's no one in that area. Orb will be collected.
Meanwhile, another 2 players are pushing out towards Dish, so if we break that trip, might be a call for Shopify to just push it out quickly, but you see 3 of them moving down towards the underpass.
Jazzy's deciding to stick around in this heaven area. You can be sure that she's gonna pop that ultimate if they come, and everyone is very much congregated in this area. These anti-ecos are just so tense at all times.
And the best weapon that we currently have are 2 sheriffs and a headhunter, all working here towards this B site. Katsumi has one, looking here from the generator out towards the B main, as Benita is looking for somebody to make a mistake, somebody to slip. Still plenty of time for Shopify to try to backpedal if they want to, but they're looking for this first contact. To walk in, the gun sticks out, the spray comes in, and that's the call now for Shopify to move in. Bob answers back on the top of default, as we are falling back like we called. A 3rd one to come in for Bob. Now with 20 seconds left, KP's like, I have to move in.
Alexis is on the move as well. Oh, she gets taken out. It's all down to Bob.
Oh, almost that headshot to try to swing back onto KP. But you've done the damage here for C9, and Shopify, they get the 2nd on the board.
So close, so close. Another anti-eco. But this time, they're able to survive. An operator coming out for the first time in the second half for Mel. And it looks like she wants to take over this A main control with the breach. This whole corridor, it's so difficult to maintain that line of sight. So we'll see if Mel reaggresses in with the help of Fade, or if they pivot and go for that dish control. But this A main contestation should be interesting, and you can see that breach is in this area as well. I like this push.
A trademark left behind by a Flowerful. It's going to make things difficult for Cloud9 to go for a surprise hit. But you can definitely see the focus now towards this A-halls. And as it spots somebody, that's the call to move in. Rolling Thunder to come out, but all 3, that triple flank is huge.
That Prowler gave so much information, and that was the go button. Shopify trying to respond and retake this A main quarter. At least they'll be able to get the spike down. This is so funky, though. Look at this. All 5 members just grouped up. I mean, we've swapped sides completely here.
And we're playing so passively. Benita has the orbital strike to work with. She does have a molly as well. We'll see if she has a lineup too. But that KOL from Bob is huge. That means no orbital strike to come in. And Sonder is going to have to be the one that's going to have to go to work. but unfortunately it gets denied as C9 are just flooding through towards this A site. Last one on the spray now gives her position away. Diffuse gonna come in. Unfortunately, that's an orbital strike wasted and a gun dropped as well as C9 puts 10 into the board.
Valiant effort coming out here for Shopify. That round looked almost too easy for C9. I love the set piece coming out, right? As soon as that Prowler got that contact, they broke the trip and they just collapsed right outside of this B main area, overwhelming those two members.
One enemy.
And the defensive aggression catching off Shopify here.
Yeah. Alexa's position as this fade towards the door is super important, I find, Christine. There's a one time where she died first and finally Shopify Rebellion took that A Hall's control, but if not, it's key to let C9 react on what they want to do here.
Ooh, what a shot coming out for Jazzy. 3 members once again, hunting party trying to take this fight onto Arcade.
Oh, we do want to fight indeed. Counter flash out from KP.
Huge stun.
Advantage still coming out for Cloud9. 2 left alive for Shopify, make that only 1. Nice little swing, but Katsumi picks up the kill. Flowerful, I'm not going to discount her. She does have the Marshall and Headhunter. She's moving down to inch back towards the spike.
These are one taps for her, whether with the Headhunter or the Marshall, very low, but Jazzykin so good for that shot. And you saw, right, the layers coming out for C9, 3 members retaking that arcade. They always had that sort of insurance plan in their back pocket. Mel had that arcade control, or rather the dish control, and that collapse again on the defense for C9. They're being so proactive, not allowing Shopify to do anything really, set up anything for those executes, constantly disrupting. And Shopify, they're talking about that right now. I mean,
I feel this is one of those rounds where you don't want to play for overtime if you're Shopify Rebellion, then you want to push quickly, try to leverage that showstopper and get that res in if you could actually keep Lori alive too.
Slow start. Oh, just dry peeking, trying to hopefully find those 1 sheriffs. Bob playing disciplined. As I say that, she tests her luck. A little bit of splash damage, and oh my, she's going for more info here.
What an aggressive play, such confidence.
And this is so much information. You can see on the minimap already.
Exactly.
The movements are happening.
Bob's going to call that all. And that showstopper, we talked about that picked up here by Sonder is going to be important. They try to use this, get into the site, they will do so. Door is now open, showstopper is up, really able to slow her down, and that's gonna waste things a lot. It's gonna have to be a random shot, hoping that it connects.
Oh boy!
And it goes behind Jaskin, unfortunately. More to fall, Benita. At least silver lining for 1 kill, but a spike is out in the open towards Sands. With 4 players, everybody backstabbing, and finally Bob, that full push out from tree, getting the last 2 kills, and that's Cloud9 right now at map point.
And I like the move coming out for Sonder, right?
Yeah.
As long as that rocket is in the air and the defenders don't hear that rocket get out of her ultimate, then that makes them turtle, right? That makes them hide, and it allows the space making from her teammates. But unfortunately, Jazzykins is just an absolute hero, and you love to see it when your duelist has that much confidence. They have a get out of jail free card. The movement coming out for Jazzy, and she says, "No, I got this. I'll tank it, guys. I will tank the rocket."
There.
With confidence for that kill, Shopify Rebellion again. Thankfully, they have this res to work with for this round. Try to activate just a heavy hit. Really able to slow things down out for C9. And Sonder is now in first point of contact, being sprayed through the smoke down to low HP.
Yeah, and Cloud9, they're A-okay with playing this retake, allowing Shopify to play into the sites here. There are no flanks working here for Cloud9, but Lexus has that Fade ultimate ready and 2 Prowlers.
Propping it up. C's also was thrown towards that B main. We're just reposition ourselves to just run out from the canteen off that ult. And here's that call. Wall up from Jazzykins 2, and it's across straight into the site. Players now pushing back from Shopify Rebellion on the top of heaven. As here comes the first contact. It's 3 players, make that 2 players rather from Shopify Rebellion, holding it down against 3 of Cloud9. Things are looking good for Shopify Rebellion to save that round, to fight another day.
And this time in the post, Benita has help in the heaven area. It's not just the Brimmy with the stimmy up there. has power in numbers, and they're able to actually convert. Cloud9, though, they weren't even in the site. They played and decided that they would be okay with playing that retake.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do that again, right? I mean, they've had so much arcade information. This KO allows you in the beginning of the rounds, when that barrier goes down, you throw the knife, it's clear. Let's maintain that map control. So those proactive moves for Cloud9, we'll see what Shopify's answer is this time.
And that's Mel with the tour de force. Smaller changes, big changes rather happen to the dish most recently on this map. Allows for her to focus only into one hallway. Forces out the ult already. The res onto Sonder. But the jig is up. We know that Shopify are trying to take control of Dish, trying to hit the A site quickly. As now we've cut the noise while Benita has picked up the orbital strike.
Reaggressing. Flowerful seems so ready for it, and she is. 2 beautiful shots to respond. Bob all alone, but a third is unexpected here. Bob might just have a hat trick.
Flowerful's clearing it.
Oh, the wide swing.
Remy with the stimmy. Gotta love that one. And we're just farming orbs. We're trying to make sure that KP could have the Rolling Thunder into the pulse line, if not the next round. Alexis now the next one that's going to try to come into contact, but she's blocked off by the Sage Wall placed up by Lori. Satchel on the top, trying to fight that against Alexis. As now we're playing it more safely. We're playing those numbers in favor of Shopify Rebellion. And for C9, it doesn't look like we want to try to save here.
Yeah, I think they just want to do a lot of damage, right? 2 versus 5, it's going to be really tough. But hey, we know Shopify has been on scraps so far. So for Cloud9, they want to get as many kills and make this as expensive as possible.
Here comes the first Prowler. But the Crossfire is still so good, and that wall is so annoying to deal with. Just one piece of utility is what's going to help, really, for Shopify Rebellion to win that round. At least Mel is able to tap one with that tour de force.
Unfortunate for Shopify as well. They can't risk just running it down and chasing to punish.
Correct.
They've got to worry about their own money as well. And another solid start after such a quick opening for Mel as well. And you know, you love to see it when your chambers are that confident and they're able to find that small split-second window where that boombot is hitting the corner and you just quickly peek TP away.
Yeah.
Absolutely capitalizing on the strengths of chamber. But Shopify, they've responded well these last 2 rounds.
Indeed they did. They have so many ultimates to work with now. The best thing you want is to start cycling these into future rounds to make sure you could narrow that gap, narrow that lead that Cloud9 currently has.
Yeah, and this is that A-main control you were talking about, Vans. Shopify decide they just want to go in and party, though.
Want to fight back as much as we can. Big flash, Alexis now by herself trying to hold the A site at least into the A halls, but that push is now putting Shopify Rebellion back into rotating to B.
Yeah, they're reacting so fast. So fast here. It's just down to Bob. But she's got full HP and she's got full clip in her ammo. And Bob, I mean, these are the moments she lives for.
And just making sure she's wary of no pushes coming out from Arcade, from Underpass, waiting for her teammates to rotate across as well. Cosmic Divide is available, but we won't know here if C9 White want to invest into that, depending on if Alexis can pop off again. Spotted by Lori with the jump peek into heaven. The ADS, double shots, so that's the audio cue that there's 2 players towards Canteen. Shopify Rebellion setting up for that. Playing pulse plan, orbital strike on top of that too, but they won't need it. Katsumi alone, shot by Flowerful, and that's 9 on the board with none of those ultimates that we mentioned still saved into the next.
And that is so huge for Shopify. The fact that they're able to just win out that aiming control without investing those ultimates, and it was just power in numbers, right? You saw Sonder just full on swinging, opening that door, and they finally take care of Alexis and that aiming corridor. And that sort of conditioning, I mean, slowly but surely, it starts to creep up in your mind. Do we need to make adjustments? What do we do here? The crowd is just loving it as well.
Yeah, 1 left here for C9. But for this round, off the timeout. Audio cue to have this boombot, but it misses, unfortunately, to get deep info into Dish.
I wouldn't be surprised if KP uses her ult for spawn and we see some funky business just rushing straight into Sands or into spawn instead of the site. All 5 members very much grouped. As soon as they break the trip, expect a hit.
Yeah, especially with that smoke onto Sands, and there's that call. But without the Rolling Thunder, we already have Sonder in spawn. Mel trying to hold her ground into the site,
There
but
it is.
unfortunately, KP turns around.
Jeez.
2 to fall. Only 1 left inside the A site, but you could already see nobody's really rotating across from C9. So Alexis left on an island. He's going to have to try to swim back to shore.
Such a good response coming out. KP still has that Rolling Thunder in her back pocket if things get dicey. Bonita as well playing this post. And right now, Cloud9, they just have to contain. Even if they make it into the site and tap it, it's impossible. They're going to try to do as much damage as they can. But what a round coming out here for Shopify.
What
Jeez.
mechanical skill from Sonder. Satchel on the wall for that kill. That's pretty sick.
That is pretty sick. I love this call. You know, we've been talking about this A main contestation the whole half. We've been talking about the conditioning and Alexis being so dominant. This time, Shopify say, you know what? Let's all 5 of us just go dish, screw A main altogether, control that spawn so that when the rotators come in, we'll have an easier time in that post. Beautiful read for Shopify, and what a call coming out here for KP.
Surprising enough that C9 decided to go for that damage. That econ damage against Shopify now into this round, forcing up with 2 Vandals and a Spectre to try to salvage the round, maybe win the first map here, rather. And that's Bomb, who's been really good at this position before.
She has. She's got one of the hero Vandals in her back pocket. And we know she'll absolutely peek out and take these fights. That paint shell and the fault line is so huge.
So much utility was done there. Fault line on top of that. Bob couldn't get a reposition, couldn't play a hidden spot. And if it wasn't the pain shells that was going to get her, it was most likely going to be that showstopper. And I keep harping it, but we have that Rolling Thunder and the Orbital Strike, and these are going to be perfect for the future rounds, unless C9 could actually do something on this retake.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to speed it up. They've got to try to attempt to burn those out in this round, in this quasi-buy, before the last round of the first half of regulation here.
And that's Jazikins moving forward with that Vandal, the tap onto the spike, but unfortunately it's not paying off. Alexis falls in the end from KP, and we're 1 round away for Shopify Rebellion to bring this into overtime.
Round by round by round, it's actually happening, and it's on LAN. Of course it's on LAN for Shopify to just make a statement and say, no, we're not just number 2. We're tired of you talking smack about us, Cloud9. We're gonna bring it to you on LAN. These 2 ultimates that we keep talking about, this is the last round.
Oh, yeah.
And it's gotta be, it's burning a hole in Bonita and KP's pocket right now.
It's prepped up for at least some early pressure into the A halls from both C9 and Shopify. That's a huge 0 point being thrown by Bomb from B into the A main, spotting quite a few.
Jazikins, you saw, going in a bit of a more forward position. They realize that the breach is in this part of the map, and it seems like KP wants to readjust, maybe just getting that fault line ready for Sonder. But Cloud9, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to give up this A main corridor anymore.
Saw it earlier on, if the knife actually didn't spawn anybody, Jazikin was getting ready to move forward. But another smoke comes out. A Nebula from Katsumi to run that clock down even more, but now we're committed. We're gonna go for this, a Rolling Thunder, a Nightfall to answer back. That's gonna ping a few once again. As we're committing in now. Jazikin swings back out and they both fall, unfortunately, both her and Katsumi. Alexis, she's been on fire before. She's waiting on the staircase. There's that first peek. But these are looking good for Shopify Rebellion on this pulse plan.
Yeah, just Mel and Bob left wondering and calculating how they're going to get this started. I mean, they've got to get some incredible shots here. There's even a wall blocking off Bob, a slow orb on top of that. And look at Shopify. They're not going to give them any picks.
Doesn't look like it's going to be anything good at all. A nice little flash at least. First headshot, but it's traded off. Mel stuck with an operator. Picked off by Sonder. And they fight back for Shopify Rebellion. And we do go to overtime.
And the rush spawn from there, I mean, it started off every round, something coming out from Shopify that just completely threw off Cloud9 White. These last 6 rounds have been spectacular.
Yeah, they've been different almost every single time. Meanwhile, for Cloud9, White's been just conditioning towards B, try to pull that rotate, but they're good for trades, they're good for firepower. So I'm loving the different approaches that we currently have on Fracture here, Christine.
Yeah, definitely so. The mind games, man. The mind games coming through for both squads. Just so familiar with each other. And we're seeing even a quick change coming out. You saw 5 members again grouped up in the south side. With 1 second left on the clock, they just shift focus. And they're all going towards this arcade this time. We've seen this 4-1 coming out for Cloud9 in regulation. But this time it's been swapped. Mel is the only lurker. And I like this little adjustment coming out here for Cloud9.
We're playing deep inside the site for Sonder. It's going to be a dangerous position. She's got to get her one. Great wall, at least. That's not going to allow the lurk to happen. Lori also just got sprayed by a couple of shots that whiffed and ricochets off the walls. But Sonder, as I mentioned before, has to be an anchor on the top of heaven here, but gets stopped right away. After shot to come out to delay a bit. As Benita and Laura are fighting back towards this B site, we actually weren't able to commit into the site for C9 White, stuck towards arcade.
Trades going back and forth. It's down to a 3v3 though. Benita tries to re-clear Katsumi, so steady for it. And look at this control.
Yeah.
3 members though, all towards this canteen. Cloud9 are being so patient. Spike on Alexis's back.
Teleport's ready.
Katsumi is holding a tight angle to get the kill. No stars to work with for them to cross back into this B site. So the Haunt is going to try to get the information. And that's contact at least on 1 on Canteen. But they don't know where KP's at. Deep flash. Nice utility from Bob. But KP still gets the kill. Headshot onto Katsumi. It's a 2 versus 2, but at least we've made it in the site. Tap onto the spike, trying to bait them out. Doesn't work out, so we're committing now to a plant. But our rotate comes back from Shopify. Both of them goes for a trade. KP, low HP, only at 5. Bob gets the kill, and C9 are back in the lead.
Bob definitely thought that she finished her off, right?
Yeah.
You've got a Vandal in your hands, you see that gush, and you're thinking, okay, that was a nice shot. But unfortunately, it clips the wall. Either way, though, Bob, C9, they slow it down. It was a 2 versus 3 and leaning onto those strengths, and that's what we love about Cloud9. In those dicey, high-pressured moments, they're able to recollect themselves and secure it. And here's a shot for Bob to just clean it out for themselves at the end. That was a good hit coming out here for Shopify.
And so good from Bob that realizing that she got the dink, no kills, uses a knife to make sure that KP doesn't have any utility on that 1v1, and you just go to the fundamentals, and she takes the upper hand. Now it's switch sides where we've seen a lot of success from Shopify Rebellion as they're looking for a similar hit.
Oh! Uncharacteristic miss from Mel. She does get away with her life, though. Look at this response. Cloud9, as soon as Mel gets contact, they're pushing.
No smokes available anymore. Jazzikins with the kill, and now C9 playing the numbers, not looking for a flank, looking to hold their positions on both sites.
The crowd is loving it, hyping up Cloud9 White here, and they've got the one-man advantage. Lori is 3 away from the res. Maybe there's a possibility. There's so many orbs around this map, but with the time ticking away and the 3 members of Shopify staying together, that's just not a possibility at this point.
And because of those kills, you see how they're hesitating for Shopify. Are they flanking from behind? What are they doing? And this is just playing the clock to perfection for Cloud9.
Yes, exactly. Just allow that paranoia to start creeping in. Demand and force an unforced error. KP, the fault line's going to go off. Saunders got to capitalize.
Committed now. We now have to hold this with confidence for C9, and we do so. Katsumi and Alexis all inside. Mel, close range shot. Oh, a flawless hold for the 3 players inside the B side. C9 win the first map in overtime, 14-12.
And it's Katsu.